Oh, of course I was unmuted as I said that. Alright. Alrighty. What's going on, everyone? This is Sonic Adventure DX on the PC. So, I'm just gonna get on with it and explain everything as I run. So, 3, 2, 1, go. So, this is, I believe, the first 3D Sonic game. It's first game with voice acting anyway. Sonic Hard doesn't count. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. So this boss can be manipulated with a bit of fine movement. It's actually not too difficult once you've got its little pattern down. It doesn't really do much. So, oh, a 1606. That's pretty good. Okay, so a lot of you might be asking, what's the story to this game? Apparently, it takes a lot of its story elements from Buddhism. Some people were sad enough to make a whole connection. I thought it was just a Sonic game. He went fast, he beat Dr. Eggman, but shows how little I know. Okay, so what you saw me do at the start of the level there, I jumped over an invisible wall at the start. And then the second jump I did, a jump that I usually drop. It's quite difficult sometimes because, you know, you've got to be quite precise with it. Oops. I knew that would happen. It happened in practice. That's unfortunate. So here we're going to get some wonky camera angles, because why not? The Sonic game after all. Oh my god. Ideally what we wanted there was not so much height, because the longer Sonic's in the air, the less speed we have. Alright, so we don't have to hit capsules in a lot of the levels, so we end it quite easily by doing this. This game sort of just happened. Alright, so we changed camera at the end there just for this hub movement, and I don't know why Sonic has random collision with random objects, so he can clip through walls, but some walls he'll actually make contact with and it'll lose you time, and it's ridiculous. Obviously it has to be during the marathon, but yeah. So this boss, oh yeah, I forgot to say, when this game, when we started running this game on the PC disc version, we realised that this boss had a lot of issues. So this one cycle you're going to see was especially hard on the PC disc version because its audio file, out of all the audio files in the entire game, out of all the consoles it was released on, was corrupt. We actually found that it's not the only audio file that was corrupt. A lot of audio files overlay in a weird way, which make it so what will happen is when it gets to where it would normally end, it'll actually extend it for an extra second or whatever. So I've actually removed all the sound voice files. That's the one. You know, it doesn't say you can't, and it just makes the game a lot more fluent in a lot more areas where it would just randomly have lag spikes. So pretty cool for that. So what you saw me do there at the start of this level was I went through a wall which was intended for another character. It's still accessible to Sonic for some reason. When they made this game, they just did a lot of the same level design. They just sort of wrote over it, save time and all that. They just like added levels for the other character I was speaking about. It's not too bad. Here is the issue with this stage, to be honest. It's a pain, and we get all the fun camera. I'm going to hit this for safety. So here we're going to try and do this jump. It says about a second. Why did I see that coming? Okay, you get to see the glory of loops. And you can see why I hit that check button now. So, I'm not going for it again. So what's meant to happen is just meant to jump to where this is. I've been getting it all day, so whatever. Anyway, oops, come on. Oh, come on. There, if you hold A, he'll just like go higher, but the A button slips out. So, the end of the level ends with you doing a kind of blind jump into the abyss, which is quite fun. This isn't like a good Windy Valley, unfortunately, but it's been fun to do. So, another thing I wanted to say is I'm running this game on Windows 10. The reason this is important is because, believe it or not, running it on Windows 10 loses you about a minute. Yeah, it's not like I intended to lose the minute. It's just I wanted Windows 10, so it was very unfortunate for me. So now we're going to pick up this upgrade from the sewers. It's got quite precise movement down there, so you see what I mean. Oops. I wanted to get a spin up there, but camera, where are you? It wouldn't be a traditional Sonic game if it didn't have that camera. So we're going to try and aim for a bit in the wall there, and he just spins up. We don't have to use the upgrade. We just want to pick it up now to progress the story. So this is the longest level in the game. If y'all want to go for coffee or something, you know, it's really long level. You know, I have issues with this level. So I don't know why that happened. Obviously I was just memeing his. So the reason this game is slower on Windows 10 is because something in Windows 10 capped the game's frame rate at 60 frames, but it also reduced the game's frame rate. So in parts it actually drops below 60, but in the Windows 7 version, which is the same files by the way, the game is unrestricted and will generally run at 62 frames per second, which actually makes the game run faster. And it's yeah, it's a bit of controversy at the moment. It's a bit weird to go to after running it on Windows 7 for so long, but whatever. I can't get my coffee. So this level has quite an interesting glitch. It takes advantage of this middle section because the timer stops. If you want low IL times, I suppose this is the level for you. Anyway, we're going to stare at this wall until it just gives up and lets us through, which never happens, to be honest, because it hates us. Really? In a marathon? Come on now. There we go. So what we do when we clip through is we turn it to the right slightly, and then we line up with this like line that you saw the spines line up with, and we hold both the camera buttons and then keep holding forwards, and you know you're in the right spot when you see that thing to the left. So it's not too bad. Unfortunately, if we were to let go of forwards here, or you know, try and mess around with our angle, we would hit a death plane, so it's still risky until we see the end of the level. And there, and I just let go of both the camera buttons and just hold forwards. You probably don't have to hold the camera buttons, but it does give you a lot more stability when you're falling, so. But only in auto cam. If you were to do it in free camera, for some reason it takes precedence over the right camera, so it would just keep turning you right, and you don't want that. So, overall it was an okay ice cap. Now we're going to go on to a not so okay boss. Anyone who's ever ran this game will know what I'm talking about. It's the infamous Chaos 4. Well, this isn't. But this is oh no, if you've ever heard that typed in the chat. But you don't get to hear that because it's faster not to have it on. So, this is Chaos 4. Infamous boss because he has an attack that can waste 8 seconds. And he has the potential of doing it twice in this. So, we don't want that to happen. He has the potential of the high potential of doing it on the second or third attack. So fingers crossed. I don't want to lose 8 seconds. And he didn't do it, which is good. He didn't do it for that's the second attack. He doesn't attack and then he rise, except for the last attack where he does 4 attacks and then rises. So I'm trying my hardest. I don't know. There we go. Thank God. I hate when it happens. It's just the worst, because I don't think anyone's ever came back with a solid like, this is why he does it sort of thing. So it's one of those. So we're actually in for quite a cozy Chaos 4 now. We just want to avoid getting too close because he does have an arm attack which wastes about 5 seconds if he does it. Okay, so now he's on his last bit of health, so what he's going to do is he's actually going to do 4 attacks and then rise. So he normally goes up, around 136. That's going to be the average for players. Alright, so that was his last attack, and then he just messes around until he gets into his final spot, and then we can hit him. Oh, 134, that's quite good actually. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the first auto-scroller of the game. Because we need to limit the fun. We can't just go fast. Alright. Funnily enough, we can just leave Sonic in the top left corner and he'll be completely fine. So, I don't know if there's any donations to read. This is the perfect time. If not, I'll try and just talk about what's gone on so far. The Casinopolis, the way it's done initially is you need to get 400 rings and then you need to deposit them, and what happens is the floor basically rises and then you can grab the emerald as you saw me do. But what I did was I clicked through the wall because there's an angle that it gives you, which, by the way, a lot of people tend to change the camera angle, but you can just, oops, I hit the mic. But you can just change your joystick controller position as well, and it's sometimes faster to do that, I found, just to change it slightly to the left and you'll click through. So yeah, so that's what makes it so fast. Doing it normally is a pain. And an ice cap normally, the thing I skipped was actually a big snowboard section, so it saves about a minute, because, yeah, no one likes snowboard section. Actually no, the snowboard section's like a minute 56. Oh my god, that's like the average time. There's 2 glitches you can get during the snowboard section, which I believe save around 10 to 15 seconds overall. But even then, that's a lot of time you're saving. So yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. So this auto-scroller exists to try and progress the story. I don't know what they're doing or what they're trying to do. The idea was just, oh, chase after Eggman, and all they do is fly around this big ship and then fly away for some reason. Here is where an audio file being cut actually saves time, just a little bit of time, but normally when it does that smooth transition that you just saw, it'll like jutter for half a second to a second, and that jutter is, yeah, it's just unneeded. You just don't need it. Anyway, no animals were hurt in the making of this speedrun. So now we're going to go to see our best friend, Amy. And we get to read the best dialogue in the game. Not that one, this one. There we go. Take that how you will, folk. Right. Don't know what time I'm on. This is usually where I get a time check, just to see. So we try and get into this light blue car because it's fastest. We can do a few spins into it and then just do like a jump cancel, and it's pretty fast to do. Also, the more rings we have, the faster we go, and we actually got like pretty much the max rings we could get at this point, so that's really good. Right, so we're just trying to weave in and out of these because it's faster. We don't want to like reduce our speed because a lot of the boosters will put us to a set speed, and yeah, the only place we want to do that is this bit coming up and at the very end. Alright, so I like to hit this one on the right. The reason is just because you get such a steep angle if you try and drift around it. So. Okay, so now we're doing something called roller coaster skip. It skips an auto scroller, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that should be fine. Oh, come on. It's because I said that would be fine. Bit of mess up at the end, but that's still an okay time. That's still an okay time. Okay. Now, if you're exiting this, if you just tap the spin button, it will line up perfectly with the outsides, which is pretty good. Alright. So here we're going to do a skip that saves about a minute. It's pretty cool. Hopefully I don't mess it up, because I have been doing it all day, even though it's not hard. Awesome. So, what we do to extend our homing attack is we actually press the B button as well, or the spin button, at the end of our homing attack, and it does this thing called a homing attack cancel. So if you were to homing attack an enemy with this homing attack cancel, you'd actually get hurt. And the reason is because you're cancelling your homing attack. The homing attack is no longer locked on and it just gives you extra distance. That's about as much as I understand of it. By the way, these speed shoes are useless because you go set speed. So this was quite a good speed highway. Although the bit to worry about is the next section, because we've got this bit coming up is a bit of a troll section. I like to take it a bit slow. Oops, not that. What the hell? Something lifted a little bit off the ground for some reason. But yeah, that wall that I was talking about going slow on, it has a tendency to throw you off, so I didn't want that because it gives you the worst camera angle if you fall off. Okay, so the next thing coming up is, well, we're chasing the egg carrier at this point. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that we clipped into that level because it saves like 4 seconds, I believe, of HUD movement. Initially, we were meant to pick up a key to get into that level, I mean. But, you know, fuck keys. Oh yeah, I thought that cutscene ended faster. Despite that cutscene having no audio files, it still ends at random times. Okay, now we're going to pick up our last upgrade in the game, and it's actually what gives our first upgrade any usage at all, and it's called the Ancient Light. So, you're going to see it in action for the first of 3 times. There you go, destroys monkeys. What more can you ask in a video game, let's be honest. So, here we're going to do some risky strats, because why not? So here we're going to try and land on this very thin platform, which never works. And then we're going to... oh, yes. That was good. So, you saw what happened. It's very, very risky, I guess, because, you know, if you don't land exactly on there, something just falls and you lose a lot of time. And it saves about, I don't know, 3 seconds, I think. I took that section a little bit slow. That's fine. So now we're going to do another skip. There's a lot of backtracking. Oops, for some reason I did that. That sucks. Sonic, instead of spinning, just spun. Like, instead of spin jumping, I mean just spun. Oh my god. I apologise, I'm so sorry. The cameras here are hideous. Anyway, as I was saying, saves a lot of time. Oh my god. I hope I still hit my estimate. Alright, anyway. Here we can kind of clip through fire, because why not? So, that was very... that was very unfortunate to happen in a run, because it's not happened in any of my runs today, but it has happened before. But yeah, what happened is I just got a bunch of crap angles, and the invincibility you get when you get hit in this game isn't as much as in other Sonic games, so I kind of just misjudged it and died. The fun thing about this game is it actually, well, this character story anyway, it's got no RNG, which is pretty good, except for one level, but the RNG doesn't affect you massively, which is pretty good. It's the last level for Lost World. There's this one tunnel where certain pillars might be on fire, but that's about it. You know, it's pretty cool, it's pretty consistent, you know, in terms of just being a speed game. So this this auto-scroller is actually almost 4 minutes long. The other one was only just under 3 minutes long, so have fun with that one, I suppose. So those 3 levels I just did though, they're quite intermediate levels. You know, quite tricky. If you're first learning the game, you might look at them and think, oh, I don't really want to touch those levels, but yeah. I know the one I struggled with most learning when I first started properly learning was Twinkle Park, because it's got one difficult skip in it, which is the roller coaster skip, and if you don't know what you're looking for, you're going to be there for ages, and every time you reset, you have to reset basically a minute, because that's how long it takes to get there. And if you click the reset button, like the restart button for the checkpoint, it will restart you into the auto-scroller, so there's just no way of going about it. It's one of the most punishing things, like, when you're learning that stage, I think, but once you get it, you're fine. What helps if you're thinking about learning this game is to play the level through first, like, all the way, and then do it again, because what it does is, the intermission where you would do the skip, there's a bit of lag when you initially do it, and then once you do it, it stores it into its memory, and the lag's not there anymore, which makes it a lot easier. Okay, so for whatever reason, our cursor thing is going to be slightly misaligned from where it's actually shooting. You can see it's shooting like at the top for some reason. But when it turns around, it usually shoots towards the left. I don't know why. Anyway, it's not usually an issue, you just kind of spam until you've got about, 6,000 to 9,000 points. It can differ. You can get 6,000 points and it still have a health left, so you usually just spam until it stops. Anyway. This cutscene coming up is an interesting one because it's not actually a cutscene. This cutscene is actually part of the game, which is weird. So it actually changes the level that we're on to a different, like, egg carrier. So we have to do the Sky Chase level. I don't know how the whole Sky Chase fits into this tiny bit of the level, but just roll with it, I suppose. So this is undoubtedly the most hated level in the entire game. If you ever run this game, you'll grow to hate this level. I think the big reason is, you know, death planes everywhere, but a lot of it is you'll accidentally do this thing called a jump cancel, and that'll ruin your day. I bet I'll do one now that I've said it. This jump is a lot easier than it seems, although now that I've said that. Oh, I almost fell. That's pretty good. This second section, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get a rocket to land in the middle of this giant rocket cannon thing as fast as we can, because if we can manipulate how it hits it. Ah, that's unfortunate. Right, so we can make it so even if the cannon is turning, it will hit it, but we missed it just. It sucks. This invisible wall is not where it looks like it should be. And we got an okay sky deck. You can actually softlock the game there, so I'm pretty happy. Oh god, what time are we on? Anyway. We've got 2 action stages left, but we've got this interesting clip coming up, which is cool. Alright, so... Oops. I accidentally hit the boss unit's invincibility, that's the one. Psycho. Okay, so I'm doing a bit of a new strat. Wish me luck, I guess, but what I'm trying to do is clip into here. Oops. Oh, I got through, but not quite. That sucks. Oh my god, twice and I still didn't manage it properly. Oh, fuck. Okay, so that's unfortunate because I would have really saved some time if I had got it, but that sucks. We're just losing a lot of time now. It saves you having to do a light, a ring. What's the word? Basically having to do a light dash, that's the one. Alright, so this boss we can kind of manipulate where Eggman goes with this. Now we don't want these orbs to hit him, because believe it or not, they are solid objects that can interact with things. And they're the worst. They are the worst. They are the worst. They are the worst. So, no, it did it. It did it. Okay, so thankfully we only lost about 7 seconds. But it can lose a lot more, especially when you start flustering and don't know what to do, but it happens to me so frequently. So, I don't know if you noticed, but when he was frozen, we hit him for 2 damage instead of 1 damage, and that was the main point of having the light speed attack thing. Also because we needed it to get into red mode, but that was about it. We actually won't see it again for the rest of the run. I missed that checkpoint, so I better not mess this up. Please don't mess this up. Okay, right. So we're going to spin in here, and then we're going to do our pause buffer in here. Ooh, that was close to dying actually, because I turned the angle a bit too much. Oh yeah, by the way, you're going to see a bit of an FPS drop. Or you might even. Okay, it's dropping now. That's actual lag that only happens on Windows 10. I don't know why. Alright, so now we're gonna hope for a good camera angle. This game may as well be called Hope for a Good Camera Angle, the game. But, yeah, we got a bad camera angle, unfortunately, so we get hit by that boulder. Don't get hit again. That boulder can kill us, and especially from that camera angle. We want the camera to be facing the boulder, but we got really lucky, so... Oops, I turned a bit too quickly. You're not meant to do this, but, you know, speeding up. Oh my god, the camera just did not turn. That's unfortunate. Thankfully there's a slight backup. So that was the second last level. Quite a fun level. You skip 4 minutes just doing that. Not that skip at the end, but just in general. Like, all the skips you do combined. Are you Irish? No. God. How dare you? Okay, so this is the last level, obviously, and... we can go a bit liberal there with our double spin, but sadly that's about it. There's not much to this stage, it's actually the easiest level in the game. But this section can clip you out of bounds for no reason. Okay. So here we're going to try and get an elevator skip. Not hopeful, but... damn it. It doesn't matter too much. We don't lose too much time from it, but if you fall directly under where the elevator is, you'll spawn inside it. But what we wanted to do was... we wanted to pause and then restart, and it saves us dying. But anyway. That is Final Egg. Very easy level. Very easy to learn level. So... now we're on the final boss, and contrary to a lot of the game, this boss is really slow. And it annoys me, and it has the worst hitbox detection in the game. You can't hit him while he's in this form. He has to open his like cockpit thing. You can do a funny thing when he's in his invincibility rate though. Okay. That's how you hit him. That was a bit scary. So we're going to try and hit him so the camera doesn't turn, and doing that is the fastest way possible, but doing it is the riskiest way possible. Okay, so this is the thing I was on about. Can't hit him like that, but you can mess around with him, I guess. Ah, okay, so the camera turning a little bit like that is the second fastest. It's not too bad though. It's ideal. I'm not going to risk doing that thing that I did before again, because it doesn't do anything. It's funny. Right, so I'll try and line them up with this gap. Yes, the camera didn't turn. That's the fastest hit that you can do, because he gets back up faster. Awesome! Okay, so this is the last hit that we need to do on the side. We got the second fastest one. So ideally what's meant to happen is he's meant to extend fully, and then you go to the other side of the field, but if you notice we haven't moved once, so... Ooh! That was scary. Oh yeah, don't home attack this boss, by the way, because there's a lot of things on it that can cause Sonic to home attack, like, off the level. Also, it's just not a stable boss. Alright, so this last attack is a bit scary. What we're going to do is, we're going to go back over here, because it's a glitch. It doesn't look like a glitch, but you'll see. Right, we want to make him go forward slightly, like this, because this last hit locks our input for some reason. But if we stand on this platform, it's not meant to be here, so he can't destroy it in this kamikaze attack that he does. Anyway, get ready on time. Time is... 9 now. Not bad. $34, $33. Jesus.